Chosen ones, how are you all doing? Listen, I have a quick message. I promise I won't be here long. I just left from out of the store, Dollar Tree, just to pick up a few things, and I was just in the store, and you know, I just felt in my spirit I just had to come deliver this message, because I'm always thinking, I'm always, to myself and in my head, and just really listening and wanting to just get information and hear, from God, and just hear what my spirit is saying. I don't think we do that enough as people. So many things are like, competing for our attention, and we don't take time out to just see, what it is that we need to be listening to in our spirit. What is our spirit telling us, right? What is God trying to communicate to us? We just go, go, go. We always have things playing. We always have, the TV on, or this, that, and the other. I don't watch TV, but we always have something going, the radio, something. And I think it's important that we just learn to just get quiet. This world is so, hi Kiasha, this world is so noisy. Everything just want us to, just bow and just submit to what it is they have going on. And sometimes I think God just want us to, just get quiet in our spirit, get quiet, and just be quiet sometimes. We don't know how to do that, especially, for those who are gifted, right? Gifted in their voice, gifted with their mouth, We just don't know how to be quiet sometimes. And sometimes it's good to just be quiet. You don't have to tell everybody what you're doing. You don't have to overshare. That's something I had to learn. Believe it or not. Listen, I'm gonna tell you all something. Oversharing is something I had to learn to not do, to stop doing, because I'm a very open person, and sometimes you can just overshare, too much. I was one of those people you can talk to, and I'll just tell you my whole life story, and you didn't even ask. Look, you didn't even ask. So I had to learn to stop sharing and telling so much, right? And the only reason I knew to stop doing that is getting quiet. What I'm telling you all to do, sometimes it's good to just get quiet in your spirit. Just retreat from everybody. Just retreat from social media. Or just retreat from family. Retreat from your own kids. I'm going to be honest. Sometimes you have to retreat from your own children. You have to just get away. If they're newborns or if you're breastfeeding, of course you can't do that. But if they're of age, it's good to just retreat sometimes to, get yourself together and take care of yourself. But I didn't want to come talk about all this. I was just talking until you all, got in and finally got here. But that's what we have to do sometimes. We just have to just get in a quiet place and learn to, hello, Tyrinia. We have to learn to, just get by ourselves and get quiet. Just get quiet. It's okay. That's what I had to learn. I was the type of person, grew up in a house with a lot of people, had a lot of family members around, cousins and aunties, uncles. I grew up deep. I grew up deep. And when you grow up around a lot of people, you get used to having people around. You want people around. That's your norm, right? Hi, Roy Lily. But I had to unlearn that. I had to unlearn that it's okay to just be by myself for a minute. It's okay. I don't need to be codependent. I don't need to be relying on people for things that I need to be seeking from God, right? But what I wanted to come talk to you all about is, you see my title. You see my title. In this season, some of you, the chosen ones, you're going to have to be bold. And I'm not going to be here long. This is just a quick message. In this season, you're going to have to be bold. You got to exert boldness in this season. Whatever it is that God has put in your spirit, whatever vision he has given you, this is the season you're going to have to exert boldness, which means that no one is coming to drop whatever it is that God showed you in your lap. You're going to have to go get it. You're going to have to go after that thing. And I know sometimes in our spirit, just like me, I don't feel like coming on here doing videos every day. Let me just tell you something. I don't feel like coming doing lives, and I don't feel like creating content. I don't feel like doing that every day. I'm gonna be honest. It seems like I do because I come and I get so passionate about it, but I don't want to do it every day. So my point is, you can't let what you don't feel like doing stop you from doing what you're supposed to do. You're going to have to be bold in this season. You're going to have to be bold. You're going to have to be, determined. You're going to have to be disciplined in this season. You can't allow excuses to stop you. Whatever excuse you have, you're going to have to get rid of that excuse in this season. You are going to need boldness and boldness only. And boldness is doing things that you know you need to do, even if you don't feel like doing it, you need to do it anyways. Boldness is, no, you don't have the confidence, but boldness is you faking it till you make it. I'm going to walk in here like I have confidence. I'm going to go in this place like I belong here. I'm going to ask. Even if they tell me no, I'm going to ask. Yes. Yes, that's boldness. That's boldness in this season. This season, you have to be bold. I know, Anique, I know, dear. I have to go take me a little nap, today. But this season, you have to be bold. You have to go after what it is. You have to go after what it is, after whatever it is that God has placed in your spirit. You have to do those things. I'm going to be honest. It's a lot of days. Hi, Shakila. How are you doing, dear? There's a lot of days I don't want to do a lot of things. But I push myself and I make myself, because one thing the enemy doesn't want you to do is do what it is that God has called you to do. He don't care. He'll put everything in your way, every distraction, every person, every lie, anything. People, even if it's a good thing, just because it's a good thing don't mean that it's a God thing. He'll put people in your way. He'll put things that you want in your way. He'll give you things. He'll give you things that you desire. He will. He'll give you things that you desire as a distraction. Yes, he will. Because he don't want you to do what it is that God has put in your spirit to do. God has put in your heart. You know what you should be doing. And most likely, most of you, especially the chosen ones, your purpose, and most of all of our purpose, is to serve someone else, is to do something that is going to help someone else. Whenever God gives you something, it's to benefit somebody else. Yes, you're going to feel good by doing that thing, but it's going to be for someone else. It is. It's going to be for someone else. When I come on here and, I bring you all these videos, let me be honest. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be transparent. When I come here and the Lord put in my spirit for me to come say what I need to say, I don't want to do it all the time. Listen, I'd rather not be on Facebook, on YouTube. I'd rather not. I'd rather be somewhere doing whatever I want to do. When I want to do it, how I want to do it. I don't want to come on here. But I know that there is purpose. There's a reason that I'm on here on YouTube. There's a reason. And it has nothing to do with how I feel. I just told you all how I feel. I didn't want to just leave out of the store, get on live and do this message. That's not something I want to do. What I wanted to do is get my bags and take my butt home and go take me a nap. But I got this message in me, so I have to get it out. Right? I got this message, so I have to get it out. And the message is, in this season, you have to go after what it is. You have to be bold. You have to take the necessary steps. Whatever you know that God is telling you to do, you need to be doing it. You need to be doing it. You have to create a sense of urgency for yourself. That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. Create a sense of urgency for you. Whatever that seems. Because sometimes, I'm going to be honest, sometimes we could talk ourselves out of the right time. There is no such thing as the right time. There is no such thing. Oh, this is not the right time. It's not the right time. I believe in seasons. But if the opportunity keeps coming up, you just have a decision to make. You have a decision to make. Because if not, you would allow that season to pass, then guess what? You're going to have to wait for the next season. I believe in seasons. But you making an excuse, talking about it's not the right time, no, you just making an excuse. That was for somebody. I don't know who that was for, but that was for somebody. You're making an excuse. You don't have plenty opportunities to do what it is that God is calling you to do, but you're making an excuse. And I want to tell you all another thing. Stop looking at quality over quantity. Stop looking at quality over quantity. Because most people who are watching me, God is calling you to YouTube. He's calling you to come on YouTube, but you're so focused on what everyone else has. They're the numbers everyone else has. You don't want to start because you don't want to start at zero. But you have to remember, everybody you're watching, I started at zero. I started at zero. The people who have millions of followers started at zero. But your focus should be on quality. Don't look at the numbers. When you stop worrying about the numbers, when you stop looking at the numbers, then you will be able to do what it is that God is calling you to do. Stop looking at numbers. When I first started out, that's what I did. I looked at the numbers. I looked at the numbers. And when God blew my channel up so quick because of my obedience, and I tell everybody, see, when you walk in obedience, God will do what he needs to do. October of 2022. Or what is this? 2023. So October 2022, I had 200 subscribers. And those were people that I asked to subscribe from my channel, from my YouTube, from my Facebook page. I asked them to go subscribe to my channel. But once I started operating in obedience and just putting out the videos and speaking what God told me to speak, my channel grew overnight. It was almost like, I don't know what happened. It just happened so quick. I just knew it was God. By the end of December, I had over 10,000 subscribers in 3 months. Tell me that's not God. It's not me, but I don't even care about that no more. I don't even care about the numbers. Thank you so much, Stacy. I don't even care about the numbers for the $19.99 super chat. I don't even care about the numbers. I don't even watch the numbers no more. Only thing I pay attention to when God put a message in my spirit, whatever he tells me, however I look, whatever it is, I come and I deliver that message. Because I operate in obedience, I don't even plan messages. You would think I come and plan these messages. That's why I come on here throughout the day, different times. Whenever he says to come, whenever my spirit say to come, that's when I come. Whenever he drops something in my spirit, that's when I come. It's not my will. Trust me. Sometimes I come on here, y'all be looking at my hair. My hair be all dry. Sometimes I don't be, dressed. I have on a shirt. I just come. I try to come looking somewhat presentable, but sometimes I don't always have that opportunity. You have to allow God to do what he's doing. It's out of your obedience. You can't sit here and worry about people, because let me tell you something. And God showed me this early on. I learned so many things from this one what was it, like a mastermind I participated in. I learned several things from this. See, some people, they'll look at things and they'll just say everything is evil, everything is the devil, everything is this, that, and the other. I don't look at things like that. I remember one time I attended this mastermind. This before I start having a relationship with God how I do. I attended this mastermind and I just felt like I was supposed to be there. I felt like I was supposed to be there for whatever reason. But when I got there, I know the mastermind, it wasn't something that I was comfortable with. It wasn't something godly. Let's just say that. You know, you had people talking about chakras and all that. I don't believe in all that, right? But what I've learned from that, he showed me several things. One thing he showed me is before I connect with certain people, he showed me I need to be going to him, asking him, is this something he really wants from me? Or is this something I want in my flesh? Is this something I desire? That's number one I learned. Number two, he showed me quality over quantity. In this mastermind, it was only a handful of women there, maybe 10 to 12. But don't you know, at that mastermind, those women were spending money as if 100,000 people were there because they were buying different products, right? So he showed me it's not about quantity. He showed me it's about quality. So he showed me that it only takes one person. He said it only takes one person. It takes the right person for me to do what I need to do for you. You just got to be obedient. That's what he showed me. And I learned from that. I'm like, you had these women there. It was only like 10 to 12 women, and they were dishing out money if that was the focus for me. But at that time, he was just showing me something. That wasn't the focus at that time. So he was just showing me it only takes one person. I can touch the heart of one person. You don't need a whole bunch of people. He said, you don't need a whole bunch of people. You just need one person. He'll send one person that will see the value in what you have to say and invest in you. They would only want to work with you. That's what he showed me. He already showed me. I'm going to send the right person because the people that he called me to talk to, they're only going to hear my voice and they're going to like what I got to say. That's how come me and all 17,000 of us on this YouTube channel, we could all be using our voices. But there's going to be a certain group of people that is attracted to you. You guys on here, you are attracted to me. Right? You're attracted to my voice, what I have to say, the message, because my message resonates with you. It relates. Sometimes I'm not going to say everything that, you want to hear or agree with. And that's with anything. But the majority of my message, you guys relate to. So just imagine if I never would have stepped out and I never would have used my voice. Right? If I would have been disobedient and just been afraid to come on YouTube because how I sound. And that was one of the excuses. Be honest, that was one of the excuses. I'm like, I don't sound good. I don't sound this and I don't sound that, my country language come out sometimes. My ebonics come out. God said, I'm going to use all that. He said, I need people to hear that. He said, I need people. That's what that's what the Lord said in my spirit. Let me tell you what he said. He told me I need people to hear that country. I need for them to hear that ebonics. I need for him to hear your rawness, my jokes. He said, I need everything because people are going to relate to you based on you being yourself. That's why I come on here and I'm authentic. Sometimes I just say stuff like I was talking about the lady clapping and twerking down the pole. There was a message in that. Somebody got that message. Somebody got it. Hey, sugar lumps, somebody got it. But it wasn't for me to try to be perverted or anything. It's just that some people need to hear the truth and need to hear the truth, how the truth comes. How he delivered it to me, I got to be able to deliver it how it comes out. I can't be trying to put a filter on how he put it on my mouth to deliver. Some people may get offended by that, but some people know exactly what I'm talking about, because sometimes we need to hear the raw, true, unadulterated truth. We need to hear that, because sometimes a lot of the people who I'm talking to, they refined hood. They grew up in the hood. They grew up with people talking hard. They grew up around people talking, saying whatever out of their mouth. So to hear me is like hearing, somebody they can relate to. Like, this girl, she don't look like she grew up in the hood, but I know she probably got some hood in her, because guess what? She's speaking the language. She's speaking the language. And I can't run from that. I'm not going to run from it. I'm not going to hide. And I'm not going to deny that. Right? And that's what we need. We need people to see where we came from. And a lot of people try to get, and they get to a certain level and they want to deny where they came from. I never deny where I came from. It's either you're going to accept me for who I am, or you don't have to. You don't have to. I'm not going to say that I wasn't brought up a certain way to make you feel good. I'm not going to stop saying things because of my upbringing and what's ingrained in me to make you feel good. I'm not going to deny my culture. I'm not going to deny how I was brought up to make you feel good. I'm not going to do it. This message may not be for you, but the point is, you can't deny, and I had to learn I couldn't deny myself just to get a message across. It's either people going to accept the message or they're not. Or you can keep it moving. And see, that's what people try to do. And I did that for a long time in my life, because I was a people pleaser. That's why I'm saying we are healed, chosen ones. When you heal as a chosen one, you get out of that people pleaser mentality. You're going to say what you got to say. You're going to say what you have to say and keep it moving. Exactly. My grandmother used to be like that. I used to cry all the time, Jacqueline. She used to tell me the truth, girl. I used to cry. But I understand you need that truth. And that's what's wrong with a lot of this generation. They don't know how to take the truth. Just because you don't like how the truth sounds don't mean that it's not the truth. Or your feelings hurt because the truth has been spoken. And that's another thing. We want to modify the truth because somebody feel like they were so sensitive. Nowadays, you can't say anything without people having a fit. How I grew up, they talking about bullying. They don't know what bullying is. I grew up where they talked about, where I grew up at, they talked about your mama. They talked about your daddy. They don't care. I don't care if your mama didn't have an arm. They talked about her. Talked about your dad. That's bullying. But we had to deal with that because that was just the environment. And I'm glad that I grew up in that, because guess what? Guess what? I got thick skin. Ain't nothing you can say to me that's gonna make me cry. Look, I'll probably say one thing to a person who don't have the tough skin like I do. I could say one thing and break them down because they don't have that. They don't have that tough skin. They don't have that thick skin. I tell people I just look like this. I see the way I look, and I know because God transformed me. The way I look, I shock some people sometimes because they assume certain things about people. They assume certain things because how you carry yourself, how you look, how you speak, they just assume. You know, people like to make assumptions. You know, they do. And I sit there and let them make all the assumptions. But sometimes one little thing that I say, and I don't have to say it in a nasty way with the attitude. The truth gonna hurt. Sometimes one little thing that I say, it gets people all bent out of shape because they're not. I'm used to verbal abuse. That shouldn't be something, because we can call it that. Because growing up in certain areas, oh, that verbal abuse was on 10. You had to take it. You had to get some tough skin, or you just sat there and you just gonna crumble. Okay? You gonna crumble. I was telling my children, I said, where I grew up, we named people however they looked. Now, I'm not saying it was the right thing. I'm not saying it was the right thing to do, but if you got somebody in the school that I grow up, if you got somebody who was always ashy, and his name was Johnny, his new name is Ashy Leg Johnny. That's just the environment. Not saying it's right. So if you got a boy or a girl, she got a cocked eye. I'm being honest. She got a cocked eye, and her name Lisa. She cockeyed Lisa. That's just, they named you based on how you look. I can't run from that. In school, if you got a big head, guess what? That's your name now. They named you by your features. Big head, Keisha. Sorry, Keisha. If you're a Keisha on here, little arm Willie. That's just how it was. Right? And so what I was telling my children, I was like, that's bullying. The stuff y'all talk about now, that's not bullying. Nobody can say, oh, you ugly, or, I don't like your shirt, or, oh, that, any little thing. It is like, for real. Anik, and see, that's another thing. Those be word curses, Anik, girl. We got to come out of that stuff. We got to come out of it. Because, see, you go to living up to it. Poor little Steve, he probably thought he was slow all of his life. Unless he's slow as in moving slow, or slow as in mentally slow. Like, it depends. But you get what I'm saying. That's how it was. And things like that, you can't run from. People got to learn to. One thing I've learned, and I'm glad I learned this early on, you have to accept other people's cultures. You can't say how someone grew up. You can't say it was wrong or right. You can't say that, because it's not wrong to them, because that's their environment. That's how they grew up. That's all they know. Right? That's just like when we go in and try to bother other cultures when they having these things that we don't agree with in America, when they doing it somewhere else in another country. We got to remember that's their culture. You can't go implement you can't implement your views and your way of life on someone else. And that's what I've learned. Only thing I know how to learn how to do is to plant a seed. I'm not there to transform and change. I'm a seed planter. I'm not there to transform and change someone's view on how they, how their culture is. Let's say that, how they were brought up. I'm not there to change, but I do plant seeds. I do plant seeds. If something is not right, I will plant a seed. And I'll let God and whomever else do the watering to the seed, but I don't go there and try to just uproot somebody from, what they know. No. Because if you ask me where I grew up at the time, although I still knew I was kind of different, but if you asked me, if you would have uprooted me out of my environment and took me somewhere else, like in the suburbs or something, it would have been a while. It would have been a while for me to adapt to my new environment. It would have been a while. It would have been a while, because you can't unlearn how you've been raised all of your life. That's just like some parents, you got some parents who grew up in the hood and their kids grew up in the suburbs. I'm one of those parents. So I grew up in the hood. My kids grew up in the suburbs. And sometimes, me and my husband used to talk about getting frustrated because they don't have the wittiness as we did in the hood, because we had to grow up and, we had to grow up fast and think on our feet quick. It's certain things we had to do early on that our children didn't have to do, which could be a good thing and a bad thing. right? Because I grew up quick. I grew up fast. I had a childhood, but I didn't have a whole lot of, I did more adult things, like responsible things. Let's just say that. I was more responsible, per se. Like I tell my children, I said, we was cooking at 3 in the kitchen, cooking eggs, and 5 and 6. We learned things early. But with our children, we kind of do everything for them. We coddle them, and we make sure, we don't want them to have to do what we did. Sometimes that's not a good thing. Sometimes growing up and having to take on responsibility, it depends. It depends. So parents, don't beat yourself up. Listen, don't beat yourself up. And that's another thing. I want to come back and talk to parents too. We need to have a conversation. Because there's a lot of you on here that y'all feel guilty. Yes, they're too spoiled, Anik. I can agree with that. Some of y'all parents, y'all feel guilty. Y'all just riddled with guilt because of how some of your children turned out, or you just didn't feel like your children. You just feel guilty about certain things. We're gonna have a conversation about that. We're gonna come have a live, and I'm gonna change your perspective on a few things, because you have to give yourself some grace. Y'all don't give yourself enough grace as parents, because we've allowed this world to pressure us and to make us feel like we're just solely responsible for every decision our child makes. And you're not solely responsible. You're not solely responsible. I'm gonna come against that lie right now. Y'all just feel so guilty. I'm one of them. I did. Listen, but I see God had to deliver me from that. He had to show me. Y'all got to give yourself grace. You got to understand. You got to look at and see. A lot of y'all mad at y'all parents too. A lot of y'all parents couldn't give y'all what they didn't have. You couldn't give your children what you didn't have. Your children got to learn that they're responsible. Once they get a certain age, they're going to be responsible. You can't take the burden. And some of y'all kids making y'all feel guilty and dropping that burden on y'all. Y'all better get some sense and be like, devil is a lie. I'm not going to let you put the load on me. Oh, no. You going to take some responsibility. That's why we got the responsibility channel. You going to eat some of that. Y'all got to stop feeling guilty. Y'all feel so guilty. Y'all let this world and religion make you feel like you was a poor mother, like you didn't raise your kids, like they, to grow up to have some sense. Yes, we did too much, Tyrinia. We got to eat that too. We're going to have to eat that. We did too much. We did too much, but they can get unspoiled. Trust me, they can get unspoiled, because you got to think about it. You got to think about it. You only were doing the best you could. We're going to come back. We're going to have a long live about that. We just going to be talking and talking and talking. And I'm going to share some stuff with y'all. Y'all can't sit and beat yourself up. And don't make people make you feel bad because decisions your child made. Especially if they're grown. You're not responsible. You trying to be a witch. I'm going to tell you, if you're trying to control your adult child, you're operating in witchcraft, which means you're trying to control another human. You can't control another human being, baby. You can't control them. You got to let go. I know you don't want to see your baby hurt. Nobody does. No good parent does. But there comes a time in your life where you got to let God be God. You got to let them go and do and run wild. And see, we read about all these stories in the Bible, about the Josephs, about the Ruths, and all them. Who else? David, and who else? Jonah. We read all these stories in the Bible, and we act as if these people didn't experience life. These people went through stuff. So I know you love your child. Your child gonna have to go through their own journey, just like you went through your own journey. But we're gonna come back and talk about this, because I could be on here forever. Listen, you got to remember, parents, We're in a different world. We're in a different world from what we was brought up in. Yes, Anik, and you have to call that spirit out. You call that out. If your daughter is like that, you bring that to her attention. You call it out. You make them look at the behavior that they're doing. Call it out. You don't have to be nasty. You don't have to be mean. Just call it out. You know what? Say, baby, I noticed. You don't call me until you need something. And you don't call me until you need something. That's not right. Or you could say, it would be nice if you could just call and check on me without having a price tag attached to it. Because if she's grown, you don't have to give her anything. You don't owe her nothing. Parents, stop making these children make you feel obligated. If you did anything to your child to hurt them, apologize for it. Apologize. Try to make it up to them. If they don't want to tell you what you did, if you did something, because some of these children like to play games. They got devil in them. They got these spirits in them, and they want to hold you hostage. You know what? You ain't gonna hold me hostage. I ain't gonna pull back. I ain't gonna do nothing. I'm gonna pray for you, and I'm gonna live my life. Life is too short to have you having me driving myself nuts. No, we're gonna pray. I'm gonna say, Lord, have your way in Jesus' name. Amen. Yes, Anik, apologize and set yourself free. Don't sit there and allow these kids to make you feel bad. And, some of them even going lying on y'all and people believe it. No, you release them. When you start getting connected spiritually, you'll see how the enemy works. You'll see how he works. And when he can't get to you, like I said, he'll get to them kids. Oh yeah, them kids are very manipulative. They come out the womb that way. That's why you got to change. You got to train them up. And that's why I say after you train them up and they get grown, you got to let them go, because you did the training. You did the best you could. Oh yeah, they play a lot of mind games chosen by Christ. They know. When I tell you, they know. See, your kids know you better than you know you. Your kids been with you. They don't studied you. They studied you. So they know your wounds, and they know. Listen, we'll be all day on this here. I didn't come to stay this long. But we're gonna come back and talk about that. But anyways, be bold in this season. Be bold and go after what it is. You have to do some work. You gotta do some work. Go after what it is that God put in your spirit to do. Go after what it is. I'm telling you. Because if you don't be bold in this season, you're going to miss your turn. Like when we were children, they were like, it's my turn now. You're going to miss your turn. We got to know. You got to, Anik, you got to do it, honey. Even I'm talking to me too. When I come talk to y'all about this stuff, I'm talking to me too. We got to be bold. I have to make myself. I have to push myself. Push myself. Get up. Even if you have to start in another thing that'll help you all. And that's what I have to start back doing. You got to work out. This used to be my routine. And I don't got off routine because I had a lot going on. But this used to be my routine. I used to get up in the morning. I used to do my devotion. Have my hot tea. After I have my hot tea, this is how I used to get myself together. Have my hot tea. Do me a little morning workout. Get ready for work when I was working. And then do whatever else I need to do. I did have a to-do list. I had a to-do list. I still kind of got one right here. I write my stuff down. See my little to-do list? I write it down. That's what helped me to make sure I get things done. Yes, Anik. Yes, if you could change your diet too, like a lot of the stuff, cause I'm trying to break my sugar addiction, to be honest, cause I like sweets. But if you can cut back on the sugar, and I know it works because I've did it several times. I'll be honest with y'all. I've did it several times. Look, I broke that sugar addiction, started back. Because sugar is very addicting. You know, sugar's in everything. But if you can cut back on your sugars, it'll give you more clarity. It'll give you more energy, right? Yes, it'll give you more clarity, more everything. Yes. If you can cut back, change your diet a little bit, that helps. But I'm gonna get back on track. I'm getting back on track because I need to really, you know, God is really telling me to be bold in a lot of things. He's pushing me. Come June, I'm going to open back up my coaching sessions. I had to postpone them for May because I just had too many moving parts with my daughter graduating and this, that, and the other. So I had to devote my time to that. So in June, I'll be opening back up my coaching calendar for coaching, and then it'll be on from there. I'm gonna be a full-fledged business. I mean, I'm gonna hit the ground running. I have to be bold. You have to be bold too. So that's why he told me to come bring you this message. I'm still sitting here outside of the store, so I have to go now. But I wanted to come give you all this message, okay? But I'm gonna come back and do that live. We're gonna be talking about, you know, yes, chosen by Christ. Yes, dear. It does make a difference. I've did experiment on myself several times. You hear what I said? Several times. So it does work. But I'm gonna come back and we've got to pick a day. We're gonna do that live, talking about, you know, parenting, especially mothers. I can't tell dads what to do because I'm not a dad. I don't pretend to be. I never say the foolery as people. Okay. Anik, I'll put it in there. I thought I had it in my description, but it's hashtag. It's Coach Monique, but it's the $, the business responsibility. If you want to do that, it's the $ responsibility. But what I was saying, I only could talk about from a mother's perspective, a woman. I'm not one of those people like I'm the mama and the dad. The devil is a lie. I could never be the dad. Don't want to be the dad. I only could talk about from a mother's perspective. I don't get into all this craziness about I'm the mom and the dad. The devil is a liar. I could never be a man. Don't know how men think, trying to learn, but that's not me. I don't want to take on. Who wants to be a mother and just think about this foolishness. It's hard being a mother. And you want to take on the mindset of being a father? No, you can get your child, baby. I'm not trying to hold you. Whatever, you can get your baby. Okay? You can get that's your son, that's your daughter. I don't want your part. I got my own job. Okay? You're responsible for your part. I'm responsible for my part. And I'm not going to try to take your part away from you. That's foolishness. We got to stop carrying these crazy burdens that's unnecessary. I don't want to be the dad. That's foolish. No, it's a hard time being a mom. I don't even want my job. Look, if I could give my job away, I'd give it away. I surely will. I'm going to say that. If I could give my part away, but I know I can't. God put me here to do this job, so I got to fulfill the role. Okay? But I never say that crazy. I'm not mom, dad. No, I'm not no mom and no daddy. No, that's too much. No, I already got my own issues. I got my own burdens. I said I leave that for somebody else in the back who want that job. No, I got one job. I got one job. And with that title comes other roles. With that title comes other roles. I don't want to pick up no other roles. Mother is a big enough one to fill. But I'll talk to you all later. We're going to come back. I'm going to set a date. And we're going to sit and chat. Hopefully I can go back and forth with you. I'm going to try to have my computer set up so I can have my phone and I could just reply to some of your messages and try to answer some of your questions. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, especially the weight of a mother, based on real world experience, not this fluff and all this other stuff that people say, oh, the mother it is. No, I'm talking about real stuff. I'm not talking about this fake, oh, my child is so perfect. I'm talking about the ones who having trouble. Real life issues. Well, you know, that's thundering. Let me get myself home. I was raised old school. We don't play with this weather. Let me get my butt out this weather. You hear me? It's about to rain and I'm not too far from the house. So I'll see you all later, okay? Be